The wait is finally over, Army. After years of countdowns and military discharge dates, the kings of K-pop are officially back in 2026. Can you imagine the absolute noise level when all seven are in one room again? Who's the first to cause a scene, and who has changed the most since the hiatus? Get ready, because the chaos is hitting a whole new level of legendary. Number 7. RM, the leader's destructive welcome back hug. The moment Namjoon stepped back into the Hive headquarters as a civilian, you just knew things were going to break. Literally. We're talking about a man who has mastered the art of God of Destruction for over a decade, and apparently the military didn't dampen his strength one bit. It actually amplified it. Picture this. The members are all gathered in their old practice room, the air thick with emotional tension and the scent of nostalgia. RM walks in, eyes glistening with that deep, philosophical Kim Namjoon reflection, ready to give a speech about the new era of Bangtan. But instead of a poetic monologue, he goes in for a massive group hug with such force that he accidentally snaps the expensive custom-made Welcome Home acrylic banner right off the wall. The sound of it shattering echoes through the room, instantly turning a tear-jerking reunion into a comedy skit. The members don't even look surprised. They just start clapping while Jin screams about how much that probably cost. It's the ultimate realization that while they've grown into elite soldiers and solo icons, Namjoon is still the same guy who can't hold a delicate object to save his life. He stands there holding a broken piece of plastic, looking at the camera with that dimpled, sheepish smile that says, "I'm back, and so is your repair bill." This moment sets the tone for the entire 2026 comeback. High production value met with immediate, unscripted clumsiness. It's reflective because it shows that despite the prestige, the core identity of BTS remains untouched by time. Namjoon struggled to balance his role as a world-class diplomat with his natural tendency to be a human wrecking ball, provides that perfect edutainment angle, reminding us that true leadership isn't about being perfect, but about being able to laugh when you accidentally break the very thing meant to honor you. How many minutes do you think it took before he broke something else? And more importantly, which member's phone did he accidentally sit on during the first 5 minutes of the meeting? The energy is electric, the chaos is peak, and Namjoon is leading the charge with broken props and a heart of gold. Number 6. Jin, the worldwide handsome's military-grade grumpiness. The eldest Hyung is back, and if you thought Seok-jin would return with a more matured, soldier-like discipline, you clearly haven't been paying attention for the last 13 years. The second the camera started rolling for their 2026 reunion variety special, Jin didn't lead with a sentimental speech. He led with a 30-minute lecture about how his skin is still the most luminous despite years of military training. The chaos peaks when the group sits down for their first meal together, a massive spread of high-end Korean BBQ. Instead of the polite after-you behavior you'd expect from grown men who haven't eaten together in years, Jin immediately reverts to eat Jin mode, but with a terrifyingly efficient military twist. He starts barking orders like a drill sergeant, but only about the proper grill temperature and the thickness of the garlic slices. When Jungkook tries to sneak a piece of meat before it's fully rested, Jin lets out that legendary glass-shattering windshield wiper laugh, followed by a rapid-fire verbal beatdown that leaves the golden maknae speechless. "I survived the front lines, I survived the code, and I will not survive you ruining this ribeye," he shouts, gesturing wildly with his tongs. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated reflection. Jin using his seniority not to demand respect, but to demand the best bite of food. The background history here is vital. Jin was the first to go and the first to wait, and that emotional weight manifests as a hilarious, protective dad energy over their shared table. He's criticizing everyone's fashion sense, claiming his basic military buzz cut, now grown out, is still the peak of global aesthetics, and making the younger members do 10 push-ups every time they make a bad pun. It's the kind of high-energy, chaotic atmosphere that reminds us why Jin is the anchor of BTS's variety soul. He breaks the tension with absurdity. You see the younger members looking at him with a mix of he's really back and oh no, he's really back. And that's the magic of 2026. The atmosphere is thick with the scent of grilled meat and the sound of Jin's indignant shrieking as Jimin tries to steal his dipping sauce. It's an edutainment masterclass in sibling dynamics, showing that no matter how much time passes, the hierarchy is less about age and more about who can shout the loudest about a piece of lettuce. Can you hear that laughter ringing in your ears yet? And wait until you see which member Jin chooses as his target for the next round of military-style teasing. Number 5. Suga, the reborn Lil Meow Meow versus the new studio tech. If you thought Min Yoongi would return from his service and immediately dive into a dark, brooding underground hip-hop concept, you clearly underestimated the sheer, unbridled chaos of a Yoongi who has been away from his equipment for too long. The 2026 reunion hits a fever pitch when the members finally step into the newly renovated Genius Lab, and Suga, looking healthier and more energized than ever, tries to act the part of the cool, composed producer. But the moment he sees the updated 2026 AI-integrated mixing console, the savage Suga persona completely evaporates, replaced by a man who is essentially a cat chasing a laser pointer. The chaos erupts when the other 6 members pile into the tiny studio space, turning his professional sanctuary into a mosh pit. Instead of the quiet, stoic Yoongi we know, he starts frantically guarding his swivel chair like it's a throne in a period drama. "Don't touch that slider! Taehyung, that's a $10,000 frequency modulator, not a toy!" he yells, but his voice is cracking with that gummy smile he tries so hard to hide. The reflection here is deep. For Yoongi, music was his connection to the world during his time away, and seeing him finally back in his element, even if he's being swarmed by 6 chaotic brothers, is enough to bring a tear to any army's eye. But the tears turn to laughter when he accidentally triggers a preset vocal chop of Jin's worldwide handsome shout at 120 decibels, scaring himself so badly he almost falls off his chair. The background history of his meticulous nature meets the reality of 2026 technology, and the result is an edutainment goldmine, watching a genius struggle with a firmware update while Jungkook tries to use the studio's professional pop filter as a headrest. Yoongi's "I'm tired of these kids" face is back in full force, yet you can see him counting heads every few seconds just to make sure all 7 are actually there. He's pretending to be annoyed, but he's actually recording their chaotic chatter to use as a secret skit for the next album. It's a masterclass in tsundere energy, showing that the most silent member is often the one feeling the loudest joy. The atmosphere is cramped, loud, and smells like expensive coffee and Yoongi's signature "I'm judging you" silence that lasts exactly 3 seconds before he joins in on the laughter. Can you imagine the sheer volume of the Yoongi Chi chants echoing in that hallway? And which member do you think is the one who finally manages to make the Ice King lose his cool and start a play fight on the studio floor? Number 4. J-Hope, the drill sergeant of dance with a sunny vengeance. Jung Ho-seok is officially back, and while we all expected the return of our sunshine, what we got was a high-definition, military-polished version of J that is both terrifying and hilarious. The 2026 reunion chaos reached its peak during their first choreography rehearsal for the lead single Swim. After serving as an assistant instructor, J-Hope's precision has reached superhuman levels, and he has zero patience for the civilian slackness of his members. The moment the music starts, Hobie's eyes transform from sparkling orbs of joy into lasers of pure judgment. When Jimin, who was arguably the most relaxed during the hiatus, misses a beat by a fraction of a second, J-Hope doesn't just give a note. He instinctively blows a phantom whistle and barks, "Back to the start! Position! Move!" The members freeze, halfway between laughing and being genuinely scared of their own hope. The reflection here is gold.
J-Hope has always been the lead of dance, but his time in the military has given him a commander energy that he keeps accidentally applying to the group's idol life. He starts correcting their posture like they're on a parade ground, only to catch himself mid-sentence and burst into that bright, heart-shaped smile we missed so much. The background history of him being a strict but fair instructor makes this shift so much more entertaining. He's literally teaching world stars how to pop and lock with the discipline of a special forces unit. The chaos hit a 10/10 when he tried to make the Golden Maknae do extra laps around the studio for being too bouncy, resulting in a chase scene that looked like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. It's an edutainment delight to see how the military structure has fused with his natural rhythm, creating a version of J-Hope that is more authoritative, yet somehow even more chaotic when he tries to turn it off. He's the bridge between their past discipline and their new, mature power, and he's doing it while looking absolutely impeccable in a 2026 streetwear meets military aesthetic. Can you feel the sweat and the sheer intensity of that practice room? And who do you think is the first member to actually rebel against Captain Jung's new regime?
Number 3. V, the elite Special Forces warrior with a Tay-Tay glitch. If you thought Kim Tae-young would return from his service in the Special Duty Team, SDT, as a purely stoic, unshakable soldier, you were only half right. The 2026 reunion chaos reached a legendary peak during their first Run BTS filming at a luxury camping site. V stepped out of the black SUV looking like a main character from a high-budget action thriller. Broader shoulders, a more defined jawline, and that intense, focused gaze he developed while patrolling and training in counter-terrorism units. For the first 10 minutes, the members were actually a bit intimidated. Even Jimin seemed hesitant to tease him. But the elite soldier aura lasted exactly until a stray butterfly landed on his nose during the opening segment. In a split second, the SDT warrior glitched, and the classic boxy-grinning Tay-Tay was back, making a hilarious high-pitched noise and accidentally tripping over his own expensive designer boots. The contrast is pure gold. One moment he's subconsciously standing at perfect military attention while the staff gives instructions, and the next he's trying to communicate with a nearby bird using a series of abstract whistles. The reflection here is incredibly touching. Despite the rigorous, high-pressure environment of the Special Task Force, where he earned praise for his buff physique and gentlemanly conduct, his soul remains stubbornly whimsical and pure. The background history adds a layer of edutainment depth. Knowing he volunteered for one of the most physically demanding units makes his return to clueless brotherly banter even more rewarding. The chaos escalated when the members had to play a tactical laser tag game. V's military instincts kicked in so hard he eliminated the entire vocal line in under 60 seconds, only to get killed himself because he got distracted by a cool-looking rock on the ground. It's a masterclass in duality, proving that you can be a protector of the nation and still the group's most unpredictable 4D alien. Watching him try to explain tactical maneuvers to a confused Jin who just wants to eat snacks is the kind of content that makes the 2026 reunion feel like home. Can you handle the whiplash of seeing Captain Korea Tae-young turn back into Winter Bear Tae in a matter of seconds? And which member is the only one who can actually outmaneuver V's new Special Forces skills with sheer dumb luck? Number 2. Jimin, the fluffy prince turns commanding chaos maker. The 2026 reunion of BTS brought back a Park Jimin that nobody, not even the members, was fully prepared for. After serving in the military alongside Jungkook, the once soft and cuddly Mochi has returned with a strikingly sharp jawline and an aura of newfound authority that he uses exclusively for mischief. The chaos reached an absolute breaking point during their first live stream together in March 2026, held in their old dorm-style set. Jimin, who used to be the one teased for his height or his accidental hair flips, has flipped the script entirely. He spent the first half of the broadcast jokingly ranking the members' military discipline based on their posture, causing a near riot when he put Jin at the bottom for excessive snacking during drills. The reflection here is profound. Jimin's time in the service, particularly in a combat-ready unit, has given him a level of self-assurance that has manifested as a hilariously bold, savage streak. He isn't the one falling off chairs anymore. He's the one pulling the chair out from under you with a mischievous glint in his eyes. The background history of his journey from a perfectionist who struggled with self-doubt to this 2026 Commander Jimin is an edutainment lesson in personal evolution. He's now the one leading the banter, using his soft, angelic voice to deliver the most devastatingly funny critiques of RM's clumsy dancing or J-Hope's over-the-top instructor energy. The chaos hit legendary status when Jimin decided to demonstrate a military-style wake-up call on a napping Suga, resulting in a high-speed chase around the HYB lounge that ended with both of them tangled in a pile of laundry. It's an emotional roller coaster for fans to see him so physically strong, yet still so deeply connected to the Little Prince identity that makes him Jimin. He's the heart of the 2026 group dynamic, proving that you can gain a warrior spirit without losing your warmth. The atmosphere in the room is constantly teetering between a professional comeback meeting and a chaotic preschool reunion, and Jimin is the one holding the matchstick. Can you imagine the sheer power of a Jimin who knows exactly how to push every member's buttons with military precision? And who do you think is the only person Jimin still can't quite boss around in this new era? Number 1. Jungkook, the Golden Maknae's elite soldier muscle-bound chaos. The moment the world has been holding its breath for since late 2023 has finally arrived in 2026. And let's just say, the Golden Maknae didn't just grow up, he leveled up into a literal powerhouse of adorable destruction. Jungkook's return to the group dynamic is the ultimate climax of this reunion, because despite being a decorated soldier who served with distinction alongside Jimin, he is still the same bratty Maknae who treats his 6 youngs like his personal playground equipment. The chaos reached an absolute fever pitch during their first 2026 homecoming variety shoot, where the staff set up a giant inflatable obstacle course. While the older members were strategically planning their approach, Jungkook simply bypassed the entire logic of the game by using his insane military-trained strength to literally pick up the other members and move them out of his way like they were plushies. We're talking about a Jungkook who now possesses the tactical mind of a soldier, but the impulse control of a 5-year-old on a sugar high. The reflection here is deeply emotional for anyone who has followed his journey from a shy 15-year-old to a global pop titan. Seeing him back in 2026, physically at his peak, but still hiding behind RM when he gets shy, or teasing Jin until the eldest Hyung's ears turn bright red, is the edutainment soul of BTS. The background history of his golden nature, being good at everything he touches, was only sharpened in the military, and now he's using those skills to tactically steal food from every single member's plate during their reunion dinner, without anyone noticing until he's already swallowed it. The chaos hit a 110 level when he decided to show off his stealth training by hiding in the studio rafters and dropping confetti on a sleeping Suga, leading to a legendary pursuit that lasted 3 floors of the HYB building. It's the ultimate proof that no matter how many medals or Best Artist trophies they collect, the DNA of BTS is rooted in this specific brand of brotherly bedlam. Jungkook is the final piece of the puzzle, the powerhouse engine that drives their 2026 energy, showing us that true growth isn't about leaving your younger self behind, but bringing that joy into your strongest version.
The atmosphere is loud, the laughter is deafening, and Jungkook is right in the center of it, probably holding two of his hyungs in a headlock while crying tears of pure happiness. Can you believe the baby of the group is now the one everyone is slightly afraid to play fight with? And as the 2026 chapter officially begins, are you ready to see what these 7 legends have in store for the world next?